November 5th, 2024. Donald Trump defeats a divided and dispirited Democratic campaign. On January 20th, 2025, Donald Trump is sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Unfortunately, he keeps his promises. Trump seizes control of a divided government, signing hundreds of executive orders implementing Project 2025. Trump replaces over 50,000 civil servants with hardline MAGA loyalists. The federal oath of office now requires declaring loyalty to the president, not the Constitution. Protected by the Supreme Court's grant of total immunity for official acts, Donald Trump orders the Department of Justice to arrest members of the January 6th Commission, current and former DOJ employees, and political opponents for treason, election interference, and conspiracy. He declares it to be an official act. Trump ends birthright citizenship by executive order and turns millions of American-born citizens into illegal aliens overnight. Mass deportations begin. Hundreds of thousands, including legal U.S. residents and American citizens, are imprisoned in newly built camps. Protests erupt. Trump addresses the nation from the Oval Office, invoking the Insurrection Act and declaring the protesters a danger to American sovereignty. He orders the National Guard to use deadly force to suppress the protests. In the wake of the bloody violence, Trump declares nationwide martial law, awarding himself new powers under the freshly signed American Sovereignty Protection Order, which defines protest of immigration policies as non-protected speech and a threat to national security. Governors in New York, California, Illinois, and elsewhere declare their opposition, promising to refuse compliance in their states. Trump orders their arrests. Trump pardons every January 6 attacker, including those who assaulted the police, and in a White House ceremony issues a new presidential medal honoring them. Many are given jobs in his administration. The Department of Education is renamed the Department of American Values and mandates a nationwide Christian nationalist curriculum for all schools receiving federal aid. Trump, joined by Speaker Mike Johnson and evangelical leaders, announces that the Department of Health and Human Services has reclassified mifepristone, making it illegal to distribute or prescribe, as well as new HHS regulations that make IVF treatments impossible to legally administer. Trump reverses one campaign promise by declaring a national abortion ban by executive order. Challenges to his authority are rejected by the Supreme Court, which has seen new appointments from Trump after it was expanded to 12 justices. He signs an executive order removing abortion records from HIPAA privacy regulations and announces a new federal data sharing program so states can monitor women's periods. Thousands are detained while crossing state lines under suspicion of seeking an abortion. Trump's acting Secretary of Defense, a disgraced ex-general, fires over 400 generals and admirals, leaving the military leaderless. Other Trump appointees purge the ranks of the CIA, FBI, and Department of Justice. By executive order, Trump withdraws the United States from NATO and ends Pentagon cooperation with Ukraine. Russian tanks enter Kyiv. Vladimir Zelensky is killed. It is announced that Trump will run for a third term, claiming he was unfairly cheated in the 2020 election. His Supreme Court ultimately agrees with this interpretation, paving the way for Trump's 2028 re-election. If you hear all this and believe it isn't possible, then ask yourself, what did you believe was impossible just 8 years ago? This isn't a fantasy. It's Trump's plan, and he's counting on you to believe it couldn't happen.
I want to talk about that important and terrifying ad from the Lincoln Project, but before I do, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Join this channel. We are building such an incredible movement of people who are going to stand up to MAGA and vote blue in November, and that's exactly what I want to talk about. That ad shows us why we have to end this division. Donald Trump and MAGA, Donald Trump and the Republican Party are counting on us to be divided, to not be focused, and allow their unpopular policies and their unpopular presidential candidate to escape the media attention and criticism that they are not getting right now. Every day that we are not focused on the danger of Donald Trump is a day lost. leading up to this election. And that's why I think this ad is so incredibly important, because it refocuses what we need to be caring about ahead of the November election. It is not Joe Biden's age. It is not the fact that, yeah, sometimes Joe Biden stumbles over a word. He misspeaks. He says someone's name wrong. I'm misspeaking now. He says someone's name wrong and goes, oh, oops, I meant to say this. It happens to all of us. It is not something disqualifying you of being president, and it is especially something that shouldn't disqualify you from being president when you've already been one of the most historically successful presidents in history. What are we even talking about here, people? Are we serious? Is this what we're focused on right now instead of Donald Trump? A person who has already told us he wants to be a dictator on day one. Everything that was in that ad has been laid out in Project 2025, spoken out of Donald Trump's mouth, or hoped to be by some MAGA individual around him, someone with actual influence in the Republican Party. These aren't the hopes and dreams of some extreme wing of a faction, of a fraction of a smallest little group of Republicans. No, this is how they feel. This is the center of their party. All of these ideas are mainstream for them because they are a cult who must be defeated. And as that ad lays out, it's not just about protecting our American democracy. Democracy around the world is at stake if the United States crumbles under Donald Trump. It can't be allowed to happen. And we need, maybe what it takes is an ad like this to just kind of shock us into remembering who we're up against here. But this is someone who is so detrimental to our politics, so hurtful to our country, that his own damn running mate said he might be America's Hitler. That guy. That's who we're up against. And so if his own running mate, who he had to replace because the last one, he tried to send a violent mob to hang on January 6th, what are we doing here? Are we serious? It is time to refocus. It is time to pay attention. It is time to fight back, to push back against MAGA, and to remember what is at stake. And it's not fear that we're putting forward, it's the truth. This is what they want. We know it's what they want because they keep telling us. Donald Trump keeps telling us when he speaks, we should listen. He won't tell the truth about anything except for what he wants to do while he's president. And that's be a dictator. And we should be terrified of that. And we have to make sure that we focus and we turn out and we vote like we know that is the case, because it is. And I'm just tired of seeing disarray when Donald Trump should be our focus constantly, and defeating him should be our focus constantly. So let's regroup, let's refocus, and let's make sure that we preserve American democracy. And if you agree with that message, and if you want to be part of it, like I said earlier, join this movement, hit that subscribe button, join what we're doing here. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, drop a blue heart in the comment as always if you made it to the end. If you're watching to the end, if you're watching all these videos, it really means the world to me. If you're sticking around through the whole video, it's great to have a conversation with you, to voice how I feel about these issues, and I really hope y'all are enjoying them. It makes me so excited to see what we're building here, and I am so incredibly grateful for y'all and what we are going to continue to build. And we are going to continue to build this channel, and we are going to continue to push back against MAGA, and we are going to continue to fight. Because we are, there will be more videos. And actually, I want you to check out this video right here, an awesome, incredible ad from George Conway and his new pack. I think you'll love it. Check it out, and I will see you next time.